My name is Mariana Sandoval, and I represent Legislative District 23, which is a district that encompasses around 230 miles of U.S.-Mexico border, the largest portion of any district in Arizona. It includes two ports of entry, Lukeville and San Luis. And listen, nobody wants to leave their homeland unless they're forced to. In her mid-20s, my mother left her family, her homeland, and all she knew and loved for search of better economic opportunities in this land. She didn't want to leave, but 8 months after her husband departed to El Norte, and for those that are not geographically inclined, El Norte is the US, Mexico is south of us. For a better job, he left her with a shark loan that he took out to pay the coyote to bring him here. And after months of not hearing from him, she was left with no other choice but to migrate. The poverty and pressure to keep a roof over her head and her children and food on the table was greater than her desire to stay in her homeland with her family and her 3 little children. This is just one of millions of immigrant stories that now develop from every corner of the earth. We are facing an influx of undocumented individuals crossing our borders without inspection for search of better life daily from all over the world, not just Mexico. And Mexico is no longer the top country where people are coming into the US. We have employers willing to look the other way in order to hire cheap labor. And as a result, it is estimated that around 12 million people are here undocumented, living in the shadows, which is a source of pain and conflict. We all recognize that our current system isn't working and that our immigration laws need to change. America's business workers, and faith organizations have been calling for reform for years, and so have many of us here. Law enforcement and government at every level are asking for reform as well. Immigration reform will need to include a commitment to a serious and effective enforcement of legal flows of families and workers, and a way to deal with those who are already here. We need to address all 3 aspects to build a successful system. This approach has at its heart the conviction that we must demand responsibility and accountability from everyone involved in the system, immigrants, employers, and government. HCR 2060 does none of this. And it is unconstitutional, unfunded, and nothing more than a political ploy to score political points. This resolution will do nothing to fix our current situation because immigration falls under the jurisdiction of the federal government, not state governments. The federal government has the resources and a piece of legislation that we do not. We have a $1.8 billion deficit, and we must prioritize public education, healthcare, and public safety, not trying to duplicate the federal border enforcement with sheriffs and police officers that need to keep our local communities safe. We also know that it is not even enforceable and that it will not go into effect if and until SB4 in Texas is fully adjudicated or SB1070 in Arizona gets reinstated, which again will not happen because this is clearly a federal issue. And this will do nothing but give Arizona another black eye, impact our economy, and ruin our reputation once again. Outside businesses and countries will not want to do business with our state that is showing an anti-immigrant personality. We know that the 3 biggest industries in Arizona are hospitality, agriculture, and construction. And most workers in these industries are immigrants. We need Congress to get this piece of legislation sitting on their desk to the president's desk so that Arizona and the rest of the border states can receive the much needed funding they need to secure our borders and adjudicate pending immigration cases in a more expedient manner. And we are willing to work with the other side to do this, but they didn't even consult us. No one yesterday at the hearing, which I was a part of, I was present at, No one was there from any border community, no sheriff from any border community, no city from any border community, and no one came to talk to us, legislators that deal with the border every single day. I go to the border constantly. I talk to the people down there. And no one came and asked what the issues are, what is happening.